to the Shinobi Unfolding.
All right, everybody, in 3, 2, 1. Konnichiwa, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of the Shinobi Unfolding. I'm your boy, the Raven Violin, the lover of your mom, Jay Aguila. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, OMK.
What up? This is Lewis. Kind of a quick plug. Co-host of Providence Lucha Talk.
Definitely, shameless plug right there. And you know what it is, guys. We're here to talk about anime, and even though you see a few of us is okay, we're here to carry on the show. Every anime has like some type of like a filler episode, you could say, or something educational. This is one of those episodes for our listener. But before we start, please be sure to follow the Shinobi Unfolding on all 12 plus podcasts. You could Google it, you could Bing it, ask your auntie about it because she loves us and I love her too. Also, you can follow us on the social media platform of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. Soon to be Snapchat and OnlyFans, just so we can talk about it.
This dude.
But other than that, we appreciate everybody helping us reach 400 followers on our Facebook page. We say thank you.
Appreciate it.
And soon to have 100 on the YouTube. So we're definitely hustling and we're appreciating all the support from our fans. So tonight conversation is a little bit different. We're not going to go too in depth on a particular anime, but mostly to the audience. Guys, let's say that I am a person who watched anime for forever as a teenager. During middle school and high school, I graduated, went to college, got a full-time job, and I'm not able to commit to anime like I used to. So the question is there such thing as too much anime? Is it possible to have that type of balance between our entertainment while trying to take care of our work life? Like, what's your insight on it?
Absolutely. I think you can too much of anything isn't good, right? Mm-hmm. So just imagine too much anime, you start getting to the point where with me personally, I'm like, I can't pay attention any longer. Like, I can't read any more subtitles. Like, I'm done. I'm burnt out. We have our days where we do that sometimes, where we take it like, I'm watching anime all day. And honestly, for maybe 4 hours I can watch anime, maybe. Not like I used to,
No. Out of the week or a day?
No, like if I was to binge in a day, I think 4 hours is the max I can give.
Oh, nah. I've done like a whole like I could start an anime and finish it like in a couple of days.
Yeah,
but it has to be good. Like, I has to keep my attention. I think the one I went from beginning to like, I couldn't like finish it because it wasn't on Netflix and stuff. But Death Note, I had to continue. Like, that stuff you couldn't continue. That and I think what is it, Blue Demon Exorcist, I had to continue. Like, stuff like that. Like, they had that each episode left in a cliffhanger. You have to continue. Especially now. I have no kids or nothing, but I work and stuff. But it's just like now COVID and stuff, so there's more than enough time for most people.
That is a good point.
But before, when everything was back to normal, I feel like people kind of, at least other, like, for example, like I don't know too much about other anime stuff, but like Netflix, they, after you finish a show, they kind of give you suggestions of what your trend stuff. So that could give to you like in an endless loop of watching. Mm-hmm. But I feel like too much of something is like a lot. Like, I'm not a big reader of manga and stuff. I go to Newberry Comics or different stores and like skim through some stuff to like maybe get a peek of what's gonna happen ahead, especially for like My Hero Academia. I like to like see what's gonna like peek through. But like, I don't know, I feel like there's not enough anime. Like, there is enough to fulfill a day, but it's just like
there's enough anime to fill a lifetime. That's
for sure. That's a fact.
I feel like if you have a genre or like, it's like movies. Like, if you like specific movies and stuff, so if you think about anime, like if it was movies, you like to continue on what you like watching. But I feel like I don't know, it's kind of tough. I feel like you just have to make a balance, because it could be overwhelming some at times.
It's also person based, obviously, depending on the person.
There we go.
You know, he can watch anime a whole show. I can watch, 4 hours. That's all I can give you now.
Yep.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's on a day that I'm not busy. On a day that I'm busy, with work, kids and everything, the best time for me is when they go to bed or before they're up. Why? Because I have to, space to myself. I can read the subtitles, obviously, I don't have to pay attention to anything. And that's it. You know what I mean? But now, imagine, that's only like 2-3 episodes maybe?
Perhaps.
So
Can you do, like, for me, I like watching old stuff that I've seen already, not memorized, but you have some anime or some shows that you've seen and you kind of have it like each line memorized and stuff. I like listening to it. Like in my head, I could picture it and just sometimes I put headphones on.
Oh, so you're saying like having it in the background while you're doing
and
stuff?
Just like listening to. I feel like that's also not watching an anime, but just being active in the media.
That's a little different though, because you're not paying too much attention and you already watched it. So it's something that you already seen, so you already know what's gonna happen. But when you're watching a new anime, you're hooked. Yeah. So that's different, But I don't know, Jay. How about you? I don't know, man. You had that One Piece binge and you went ham.
Oh, dude. That coincided with what Lusito said about the COVID. You know what I'm saying? I think it's one of the worst thing that ever happened to us as a human race. But at the same time, as an introvert, it was also like a blessing in disguise, because then I tried. Quotation for those who are listening, I'm doing like air quotes. I tried to binge it within 3 months of all 900 plus episodes, and honestly, it was just too much to bury, man. It was just like, it's the 90s style. It was like the character build up, the storytelling, and it was so much to try to observe within the first week. I thought I was not going to be able to do it. I had to tap out after like 3 weeks. I definitely made it to like 200 episodes, but that was just like impossible. You know what I'm saying? So like going back.
When did you start to notice it was too much?
I started to notice this to be a little bit too much, more towards like my habits started to change. You know what I'm saying? Those who binge watch and do this professionally, kudos to you, especially those who do Twitch TV and the YouTube stuff. Kudos. But like, dude, you have to have that focus, and have a certain schedule, playing around that target. You know what I'm saying? Watching anime. And I noticed like bathroom changes, my sleep. I was sleeping maybe like 4 hours total. Oof. Just to wake up, and then just to go back to try to watch One Piece. It was just too hard. It was too hard. So I feel like there is such thing as too much anime, but depending on your the purpose, you know what I'm saying? If this is something that's like career wise, or if this is something that you just doing for fun, because like I feel like we all have friends that been in our shoes. You know what I'm saying? That they come to us, be like, yo, back in the days, Toonami, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, this and that. But I just can't get back into anime. And it's like, you can watch anime, but I feel like one point I was going to bring up later on was like, is it okay to like set up a schedule? You know what I'm saying? Like have a planner where you could set a time, like similar to what you said, Roland, about maybe during the day or maybe later in the evening to maybe watch 2 episodes.
Mine's is kind of a schedule, but it's not like it's not like a set in stone thing, right? It's kind of like, okay, I know I put the kids in bed at this time, so that means I'm gonna watch anime for this hour, because then I gotta go. I'm gonna hang out with my lady. You know what I mean? So you also gotta separate the time, right? You gotta separate the time. And I think that's the biggest thing with anime. But like you said, if you're doing this for professional reasons, obviously that's different. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a family, you watch it all day, you gotta take notes, whatever the case. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. That's why it's a person-to-person basis. Yeah. But either way, even those people, I'm sure they get to the point where they're like, yo, I gotta chill because this is starting to give me a headache. Like, you know what I mean? But to each his own, man. So when you were on that One Piece binge, that was insane, bro. Like, you were really going in, yo.
Before Lusito jump in, I was like, I think the professor was like, yo, you should record yourself making like a documentary. And even with that, I was not able to focus and hit the record button. You know what I'm saying? That's how like weird it was for me. It was like I was not in that attentive. Like a lot of my senses was just only on, I gotta reach the goal, 900 episodes of One Piece. And even though I have some clips here and there of my feedbacks, that's the much. It probably was like what 10 episodes. After that, it was like all 190 was just like me, just like binge watching as much as I could.
Yeah, but I feel like one thing, like the taste of like what we used to watch back in the day might be different to what we watch now. So I feel like
interesting point.
Our taste and like has evolved not through our ages and how, like I remember when I was younger, let's say I still watch it, but let's say Pokemon and like elementary, like introductory anime. Mm-hmm. I feel like now I appreciate more like different, like darker or stuff with more
gore.
Well, because you're grown now.
No, what I'm saying, but it's like you understand more, especially like I used to watch stuff in Spanish before I moved here in Puerto Rico. So now watching stuff back in English is like, oh, I remember, like now it makes sense what they're saying, which is hilarious. I've been watching movies when I was like now that like I used to watch when I was younger, and it's just like, oh, so this is the joke. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, I don't get it. But now it makes sense. But it's just like, I feel like also like if you're in the style, not in the lifestyle, but I'm saying like the anime lifestyle, and we have been watching cartoon. Now we've been programmed to watch the TV, but like our parents put us on front of TV to watch it.
To shut us up.
I'm guessing you probably maybe do it for your kids. You'd be like, all right, watch this. It might not be anime, but it might be some type of animated cartoon or whatever. You probably do it for your kids.
I think for this generation is like Baby Shark and
but that's for
like,
it's tablets for this generation.
Oh, you know what I'm saying, but it's not like
too.
Yeah, but it's not like anime itself, but it's something to keep appease us and entertain us. So it's like it's just tough. I like the time stuff. It's doing it if it's your profession. Kudos for like people that watch it for like hours and hours and could do it. But I don't know. I've binge watched shows. It's not like I've switched my livelihood or my schedule around, but like normally I watch TV to fall asleep. So I normally put a show on and just watch it. And whatever I stop, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to go back and like fill in.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's when I'm a little bit different from you because I hear you. And I do that step where you said about like having like the show in the background for sleeping. I do that with YouTube. But when it comes to animes and also with wrestling too, because you and I, we do the Providence Lucha Talk, a shameless plug. What I notice is that I need to also be attentive to what's going on in order to be able to provide some knowledge or some information to our audience. Because it's also, it seems like it's our responsibility as host of a podcast to share and try to enlighten our audience to, hey, this is something that might interest you. But again, since this is something that we're doing out of the love, this is like a hobby for us. This is like we're passionate about it, and we do it as a hobby, and we do it for the love to talk among our friends and stuff. It's like, all right, real talk, I have 3 weeks without watching not a single episode of any anime show. 3 weeks dry without anime. And even though I have been participating in the Providence Lucha Talk, but also with the Shinobi Unfolding, it is just like it's to me, I don't feel that authentic. But yeah, I feel like I'm missing out on my passion. You know what I'm saying? And this is where I bring up like, is it too much? Is it something that do you guys think it's like I'm going through a normal phase in my life right now where I'm just more trying to do other things but still try to be with my friends? Or is it something like, hey, maybe you're losing your passion for anime? Like what's your thought on that idea?
I don't know. I feel like anime will always be there. Like, I don't know. Like, no, seriously, like you could archive and do whatever. You go back and watch a plot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also like normally if you watch anime or are part of like anime lifestyle, and like I feel like you also have friends or people that are within the same, like they understand what you're going through. So even though let's say you're not hanging out with them, they're probably watching the same thing you're watching. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now with social media and stuff, like even on my Facebook feed, I still get anime stuff, like especially which is hilarious, watching like anime but in Spanish, which is hilarious. Dragon Ball Z in Spanish and like
anything in Spanish, bro.
So it's just like
it's the same actors over and over again.
So it's just like it's just watching it, like. But it's just like it's still like I'm not watching it like purposefully, but I'm surrounded, or like I kind of like put little Easter eggs throughout like my feed or whatever. So at least I kind of gets attention. So you could like live life while still be part of like watching anime. Like I feel like it's not. I'm not saying it's not unhealthy, but it's just like it's part of like it's not harmful. So it's not that bad, unless it changes your whole lifestyle and stuff, and like breaks relationships and whatever. But it's like, it's a hobby or something, an interest that people have. Like I would say, I've never, like you said, you went basically bone dry on anime for a while and not watching it. I think for the I guess one of my interests, I always watch wrestling no matter what. Like I try to get my fix of wrestling at some point, even in anime. Like we talked before we started. I watched like Ultimate Muscle and Mucha Lucha, so those who like watched that back in the day. So like I still get some type of like both of my interests, like anime plus the sports entertainment. So it's just like
something to keep the spark going for you.
So at least
it's what you love, right?
True.
No matter what you love, you're gonna get to it.
So it's just I don't know. It just still calls you. So it's just like I feel it's not anime. Too much anime is not bad, but it's just like as long as it doesn't change. Ruins relationship or doesn't take over your life, kind of.
And that's
I still think with anything, too much of anything is bad no matter what, right? Too much of anything is bad. And like you said, Jay, earlier, it's for us, the more we mature, the older we get, obviously we got to start putting times in other things, so we're going to have to do less of this, less of that. But no matter what, it's still going to be a hobby, And also, Jay, what's a good thing you guys brought up was right now we can binge whatever we want.
Yeah.
In the 90s,
and it's acceptable.
In the 90s, we couldn't be like, yo, I'm going over to Jay's house to watch 3 seasons of, DBZ. No. Like I had to literally wait. So there was no too much anime because we didn't have the chance to.
Yeah.
This was pre-internet, obviously. Pre-internet, we didn't have that.
So
but we had scheduled times to watch anime.
Right. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna watch new episodes every single every single minute, day, every hour. Yeah.
So that's what I want. So we got like 2 good like questions that just came to mind right there. So the first one, I'm gonna go with the most recent with what Roland said is like let me see, I'm gonna add JL because he just popped in. If you guys saw what up big
what up, fellas? I'm just pouring up over here, my bad.
No,
do what you do.
So JL, you kind of popped in a good time. I'm gonna ask
a very good time.
These 2 questions. So the first question is, if we had access in our earliest youth, so I think all of us would be like late 90s, early 2000, right? If we would have access to anime, you know what I'm saying, or the unlimited content that we have today, would you still think you'll still be the same person now than what Roland explained? We were given certain time schedule to watch certain show, from 3 to 6, 3 to 7 with Blockbuster on the weekends to find a DVD or VHS for those old school heads right there to watch anime. Do you think you will still be like the same person today if you had that unlimited content that we have now?
No,
absolutely not. No, the list of animes we had at the time was still large. I mean, it is massive today, but I mean, early 90s, 2000s, there was still a lot of anime out there that we didn't have access to. If we had any type of streaming services, better internet connectivity throughout the world, we were very limited to the sites that we could connect to. Like the few Japanese sites I could go on to were mostly manga and art related. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about all the torrent downloading and Kazaa and all that other crazy shit. Yeah, you can download the episode.
Damn, Kazaa.
Yeah, remember Kazaa, right? Kazaa, Napster, whatever have you. You could go down the list. I had something called WinMX. I used to get all my music from there. I used to get all my WWE intro music from there. I used to download all those things.
So don't even try to
Fact,
like, just FYI.
Don't even
like,
bother.
Don't even bother.
You have to buy things nowadays. You just have to. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think at the time, though, because the way the internet was taking over the world and growing, for us at a young age, at least specifically me, I was building my computer and building others' computers as well. So if that was a reason for me to build it, I would say, yeah, it wouldn't be the same at all. I mean, we would be watching a lot more things a lot more profusely than we were. You know, we had certain time slots, like you said, to be at home a certain time after school, to be there and watch it. And then the rest of the day was dedicated to other things. It's not like we had the choice where, you know what, I'm going to watch 5 episodes of DBZ Super today, or I'm just going to binge something. Like,
I think you only get lucky on the weekends. I think they used to do like 2-3 hours of DBZ.
Or
that's the only time you had like
they would
you get like binge watch.
Inuyasha. If you missed the episode at one time, they would play it again at 2 a.m. if you happen to be awake. Which me and my Xbox friends, we were always awake. So, it would be completely different. That's a great question. I never even thought of that shit.
Lusito?
I feel like that's animes that was like when I was growing up. But I feel like 2000. We went to high school about 2004, 2005. I feel that my
2003.
Secret, 3, 4. I feel like my secret indulgence. I feel like I'm still like copping out or nothing, but I feel like I was more into sports, but that was like my secret indulgence. Like people knew I watched that stuff, and I could have a conversation and stuff, and like we all drew JBZ stuff, but that wasn't like my group or my like I was friends with everybody who wasn't, but like I was like into sports and do all the things, whatever. So I kind of was like, that was like, when I go home, that's like my little secret. But like now it also was like, not socially acceptable, but it was like, back in the day, it was kind of dumb, but it wasn't like socially acceptable to be like a nerd. Or into anime and stuff. So it was just like.
That's a fact. That's a good observation from
So it was just like, I feel like if I was like, if I had the same, not interest, but like same accessibility that I have now, I think I might be either different or not different, but like more I would say like more into the anime or more
your character would be more
a little bit different.
Characteristic would be more different today.
I still like watch like I did sports and stuff like wrestling and stuff, so I still was watching stuff that I enjoyed and also did like even though wrestling was the same thing, wrestling, but I did something similar to it and did all the sports. So it was just like I feel like it changed. Because I saw a difference when we first moved. I was like into, I think that was like 2001, like Pokemon.
From Puerto Rico to the US?
Yeah, Puerto Rico. So it was like Digimon, Pokemon, like the console and stuff. So it's like everybody, middle school, elementary school, everybody was into that. But when you transition to like high school, you kind of drop that to the side. Some people did.
Shit, I did it.
No, but I'm saying, but like some people did.
Ain't no shade.
So it was just like weird, like I don't know, not growing up, but it was just like different. Like my brother, like him and I kind of were brought up the same, but he kept the anime stuff. So he was like,
he was not ashamed of it.
He was different. Like I didn't look at my different, but it was just like we went through the same thing, but it was like it's a different product because he embraced the culture. I was part of the culture, but like on the low. And it was just like when I kind of like got out of that and kind of thought it was like more acceptable. It was like, oh shit, it's like there's more people and kind of embraced it even more. But it's just like I think it would have been different if I was.
It's a bigger community now, more exposed than it was before. I definitely want to hear OMK insight on that question before I ask the other one that also came to mind. I think the other one is going to be real quick for everybody.
I mean, we would definitely be different because imagine, I mean, you're talking about us 90s kids, you know, we're used to being outside. So just imagine we had all this anime to watch, right? Let's be serious.
I would have
really be like, about to go out and play.
Time.
That's the thing, though. We would have probably still picked the anime, though. I mean, I don't know, though, right? Who knows what we would have picked? But realistically, we didn't have that option. So that's great, I think, personally. I'm really glad we didn't. You know what I mean? Because like right now, bro, you can just sit down and watch anything, literally anything you want. So I think definitely, you know, I always, you know, what's funny, the anime culture, I never really was like, oh, anime, this and that, but I was always Pokemon everything. So your Pokemon's my shit. Like the card games, that was my shit. You know, I love Pokemon, you know what I mean? But And I never was on some like, oh, I love Dragon Ball. No, I was like, I love Pokemon, bro. Like Pokemon was just the truth to me. Like,
I always thought they were very different though, because of how accessible they both were. You couldn't get Dragon Ball Z stuff the same as Pokemon. You know what I mean? In accordance to Jay's question to all of us, and back to Roland, when you see your kids' accessibility options, what do they choose?
Easy, bro. They rather get a tablet.
Yeah. We mentioned it earlier too, is like Paw Patrol.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So it's funny because you asked that, because
Baby Shark and
it'll be like,
Peppa
what
Pig.
you guys want to do. But if you give them an option to go to the park and go tablet, they'll pick the park. But some days they will pick the tablet for sure. They'll be like, yo, I don't want to go outside. I just want to be on the tablet.
That is
I go, okay, cool. Because they like to watch the little YouTube
you're
videos.
giving them the option of it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Well, because sometimes, I'm not going to lie. I'd be like, damn, they haven't been outside in a while. So, it's like, all right, do you guys even want to go? And they're like, oh, yeah, cool, And my lady does a great job of taking them out, so like all the time, whenever she feels like, okay, they're too much in the house, or she sees like, all right, you guys are watching too much TV. Yo, let's get up out of here. And they will be like, all right, we out. I'm ready to go. So that's what I'm glad. I'm just glad they're not like, oh, no all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh, remember, I don't know. For me, we never had that option. My mom was like, get out of the house. I don't want you back until like
That's
next
why
month.
I asked that. I grew up in my brother's house,
it was just
and
like
a black household. We had to be outside. If we were inside, it was after dinner time, and he would let us watch Dragon Ball Z. But while my mom was at work, I was waiting for her to pick me up. I was outside most of the time. If it was raining, that's when we'd be inside. Otherwise, we was outdoors. No matter what weather.
Good point.
If it was 60 degrees, you were bundled up.
But that's different too, though, because the time was different. There was a sense of community back then. You can be outside and hang out. Your neighbor's mother got you, or whatever the case may be.
It was
we don't have that
community.
now.
Like your block was a community. That's a really good point right there.
We don't have that right now, so you know what I'm saying?
Lewis said something, which is, it kind of creeped along the lines of when you were a nerd, which everybody's a nerd nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But when
it's
you
a
were
cool thing now. It's a cool
nerd,
thing.
It's a dope thing. Like, chicks love it. But when you were a nerd at 14 years old in our generation, and then you had fellas that were on the opposite side of the spectrum, whatever you want to call it. I don't like to divide people up, but I feel like if that accessibility now was then there, everybody would have a more understanding of each other the way we do now. You know what I mean? That would be a whole new door to open.
Well, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they would have no choice but to see everything and whatever was considered a feed then, whatever was popular with kids, you know what I mean? They would have no choice but to have to know about it, because then all of a sudden they would see it affected in all the fashion. And fashion was one of the biggest things on the opposite side of the spectrum of nerdism, which is, how everybody's dressing and how cool you are. Nerds doesn't care how cool you were. We care about how interested we were in something and how well it reflected with us and how well the stories are and where it'll take our minds. Versus the opposite spectrum, man, I feel like I'm really dividing people up here. I'm not going to go any further than that. It's really getting, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of what you're kind of saying is kind of like jocks and not. Basically, that's really what you're saying. Yeah. That's what you're separating. I mean, it's not really separating. It's just what we were. We had the nerds, and then obviously
like
nobody.
Lewis and I were both hybrids too, because we're both.
But like we could blend in for both. Like we used to hang out with the jocks. We did sports. We were the jocks, but like we snuck out and went. And we were like, we didn't get a free pass, but we like, if they see us with the other group, nobody say shit because we were the jocks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, we're like the bridge between the two groups. But I don't know. It was just interesting. Like looking back to what we were to now, it's just like.
And just a little insight for everybody. All of us went to high school, the same high school, except Roland. I think he did it till 10th grade, I believe.
Yeah, I left in 10th grade. Yeah.
So it's like we definitely have like that sense. That's why we have like that same type of flawless conversation going through, because we were in that same environment for a certain time period before Roland, had to move to a different location.
Shit. You can ask Brandon. I had a pair of lugs, and he roasted me for wearing them.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that brand in the longest. It's like you
Birdman
wearing
shoes at the time. Birdman, I was the first one to rock suede shoes in Mount Pleasant. I don't give a fuck what anybody said. Because as soon as they got wet, I threw them out.
Yep.
Ah, man.
Trash.
That's a good memory lane right there. But my second question, I don't think it's going to be much in depth, but in your personal opinion, or if this ever happened to you or you witnessed it through someone else, have you ever seen someone lose certain relationship because of, you know, their hobby, or, well, in this case, we're talking about anime. Have you ever seen that happen before that? I mean, we joke around it. We post meme about it because, you know, that's what we do. We have that type of sense of humor. But by any chance, in the real life case, have you seen someone lose their relationship because they were just too in depth, like too driven with anime?
I can say I have. Has anybody said no? Roland?
Nah,
I would say not anime per se, but someone like wrestling or some other interest.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had to accommodate for that person.
Damn.
Like, for example, back, I will say, I don't know, like for the wrestling, you have the Divas wrestling, but they're not the same wrestling now that they were 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, they
they were more like, I guess, insecure or
now.
Yeah, but like before used to be more like they were just to be looking at, not like performers and stuff. So then for me, I watched it. I always watch it as like the art, not like they look good, okay, fine, but like whatever. Like I just went by me, but they were kind of insecure. I'm like, oh, why are you watching her? I'm like, what are you saw the turnbuckle and like the move and whatever, and she's like, no, you're looking at her. I'm like, what?
She so just moonsaulted off to the turnbuckle.
Yeah, she did. I figured, like. But it's just like then you have to readjust. So when I used to like when a match came on, like a female match or whatever, I used to like turn the channel, do something else. And I know the match, the only match, like I
know being respectful.
I don't want to hear it because that's why. But then it'll be like 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll be like, all right, I could watch another show. When they give commercial another show, I could go back to this because it's almost over. So like I'll accommodate, but like I'm not saying I lost the relationship. But it's just like I don't know. That's the only thing I had like pushback about some of my interests.
FYI, I thought I lost the audio.
No,
I'm sorry. Yo, if people see me do that reaction, that's what just happened.
What were you gonna say something, JL? Were you gonna tell a story about how?
Yeah, so it didn't happen to me personally, or maybe it did a few times, and I can't remember. It's always like tied into relationships. You're trying to, get to know a girl. In a guy's case, it could be a girl trying to get to know a guy. It's actually, especially with female nerds, at least growing up, the ones that did know, they couldn't get a boyfriend to save their life because the guy was always looking for the girl that wasn't a nerd. Nowadays is rather different. But I remember I had a friend. I still have this friend, and he would tell me about the most insane instances where he would be getting to know somebody, he would shell up his real interests and try to play up with someone else, and he would grab their interest. And then when he opened up, and it would be something simple like just playing video games, which we all did, it'd be like, oh, we can't talk or something like that. I never understood that.
Well, that's the same thing with people, whoever's Xbox and PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what I'm
saying? Like, some people get so like
talking that person just because they play PlayStation. And
I
still talk to Roland and he plays PlayStation. I'm not gonna just defriend him.
JL is saying more like because he had this passion, this hobby, this love for video game, the other person just lost interest because of this one thing, and it's like that to me is kind of crazy. And sadly, that was our past. You know what I'm saying? That was probably in the 2000s. You would have told anybody like, yeah, I watch anime. Girls will be like, oh, you watch cartoon? It's like, wait, what? No, it's not just cartoon. It's like it goes more in depth, but they didn't understand that back then like they do it now. You tell a girl, oh, I watch anime. What's the first thing they tell you? I watch Attack on Titan. Have you binge watched that? Have you seen the first episode? I'm like, yeah, we could definitely talk about that and more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a different time frame, but I'm glad that you guys did share, some insight of like seeing this type of scenario occurred. And, what we definitely want to tell our audience is like, even though we're doing a table talk version of this, don't feel bad of who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like
never.
It's like if you are an anime lover, if you're a nerd, a geek, noob, whatever your titlement is, like embrace that. You know what I'm saying? One thing you got to take away from the Shinobi Unfolding is that right now, even though the whole squad is not here, and we also have our wonderful guest Lusito, who's also a big wrestling fan, you could see that we're diverse. but yet we have this common goal, and there is a community that people will still embrace you with. You know what I'm saying? You only have to do is just like talk about it. Because if you don't talk about it, how people are going to know what your interests are? Like,
yeah, they're never going to know.
I honestly, I would never thought in years that I would be in the same anime group with one of, like, again, JL, Roland, Juan, because back in high school, we were all different cats. We were all in different groups. We had different like places, and yet later in the future, we learned that anime was our common thing. You know what I'm saying? Like something that brought us in. Thanks to JL, put us in a group. We talked about it. We share our site and
you know
build
what it says
each other
about
up.
that though? I was the person to touch every group in small ways. Like Roland was my first friend in high school.
Yeah.
And for the masses to know this, I used to pick on Josh all the time in history class because some other kid would. I used to piggyback off him. He had a nickname. It was Whack. You know what I mean? But eventually we grew to be friends as the years go through. He's laughing because he remembers the nickname. And I'm not going to say it because he says it. Here is an Easter egg. He says it in almost every anime intro since season 3. Anime is as sweet as something. Anyways, I feel like I touched every social group in a lot of ways and try to bring them together because I felt like you could always be a multifaceted individual. You have the nerds that listen to us, anime fans who are probably, I don't know, you're stuck in your room, you feel unhealthy, you feel like you can't be the thing that you want to be and still hold your interest. It's not true at all. I stay religious to the shows I watch. I stay fit. I still eat good. And I still work hard as fuck in my company. So you can be whatever you want it to be. You just have to apply yourself in all those avenues. There's no reason why you can't hold these interests to cartoons, as motherfuckers call it, and still be who you want to be at the same time. Period. I don't care who it is. You want to find me on IG? I pose all the time, and I still watch all this nerd shit. Let me be a prime example for it. You can do anything.
Facts. I think everything is just situational for people. Everybody's situation is different, but at the end of the day, you like what you like. I mean, that's really it. Enjoy what you like, and that's it. Don't let it fuck up your relationships.
I have to cover
obviously.
That, right?
No, you don't. It's a locally brewed company down the street from where I am. You don't have to cover that.
We're not getting sponsored from them.
They're never going to see this.
Never.
You never know.
You want to talk about closed-minded individuals?
How do you know if the CEO watches anime? He probably watches us.
Hey.
You never know. You have to be open-minded. Come on.
Barrel tequila that fucking ages in oak for 24 months. He's not watching anime.
Right.
He has 24 months to watch One Piece.
Yeah, it's impossible. But continue on what you were saying, OMK.
No, I'm just saying, like everyone's different. Everybody's life is different. It is what it is. You like what you like. But like I said, I think the main thing is too much of anything is bad. So, just like JL said,
that's why it's good to be multiversal. You got to have a few avenues.
And also, like, I kind of add into that. I feel like us, and also we as like culture and population, everybody, we have evolved to like more acceptance. Because you think about the shit that we'll be saying and roasting people and like breaking people into groups. So now that's like what's acceptable on that. So it's like two different generations and stuff. So it's just like, I feel like everybody's more acceptance for the most part of everybody. Before we were more like divided, and like it's just like it took years to like build like relationships or connections for everybody. It's just like,
and at the same time, we are all still very, very divided. Yet we are more accepting of certain things and still not enough. Not enough at all. But very valid point, Lewis. Very valid.
All right, cool. I mean, I think we're almost at that end point of the episode because, as I mentioned before, it was not going to be that extensive. So if you guys could give, I know like we all share we gave more words of affirmation about, be true to who you are and all. But if you could give maybe an advice for those who are interested in watching anime, but, don't know how to tackle it, just one piece of advice each, what would you advise that listener in how they could, still enjoy anime even though they have a busy schedule? Let's start with Lewis, then JL, and then OMK.
I would say just like not make the time, but like, everybody has some spare time. you could use it for your hobbies. And also, like, if you're stuck or don't know how to get into anime, most likely one person, whoever you're surrounded by, either watched or seen anime before. So, like, ask their opinion and get more information. That's why I got some more stuff that I've seen from suggestions from friends and even coworkers that I never thought they watch anime. Then I'm like, oh, you watch this? Yeah. Then the conversation go on.
It's always surprising who really watches it. You're like,
so, like,
no way.
That's like a way. Just ask people, like, because the stuff now, it's like pop culture now, anime. So it's like you see everywhere.
It's popular now, bro. Like it's a wave now, you know.
Especially
so I feel like just ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just now, most people have the time to watch it. You know, just pick a show and watch it. Like, especially now for COVID and stuff. So we have the time.
Hell yeah.
JL?
Yeah, I mean, if you are in lockdown, you have a chance to pick on something new if you want to go the COVID-related route. The thing about anime now is it's much more genre specific. So you have sports, you have dark, you have horror, you have sci-fi, you have, I guess, shonen is kind of its own genre in a way where the underdog heroes, yada yada, whatever your story may be, it's just like picking up a book that's out there for you. If you want to either read it manga style, and because you don't have the time to sit and watch a half-hour episode, you may have kids, busy schedule, just read a couple pages here and there, and may just, capture your attention. And I don't know, usually a suggestion from a friend, watch it with somebody first. Trying to watch it on your own is rather difficult. Like, I'll try to watch a new show on Netflix, and usually if my girl either suggests it to me or someone has suggested it to me, I'll watch it, and it won't really be the same. I kind of like to watch something first with somebody to see their reaction of my reaction, I guess, if that makes sense. And that kind of pushes me in there and really gives me that little addiction I need to continue to watch seasons of a show. Maybe even just look at the history of Japanese animation and how it's made its way over to the US, and start from there to have a moderate respect for it before you even just jump into something like Naruto and think, oh, it's just a kid going into a cartoon, you know what I mean? So that's one way to go about it, in my opinion.
Facts.
Beautiful.
I mean, I agree. Just to piggyback off JL, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's situation is different. So if you have the time, you have the time. You'll make it if you want to. If not, it is what it is. Obviously, if you have any anime questions, holler at us. We'll give you the best anime to watch. You already know.
Show you the way.
Other than that, my favorite advice to give everybody for everything is fuck them all. People pay attention to too many people, too much. Fuck all that. Fuck them all, son. You feel me? So do what you like. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's your life. Because when you go, you're going to be like, damn, I ain't do nothing I like. Over here thinking about some other people.
All of One Piece for no reason. It's because everybody else doesn't watch it, so I powered through it.
And it's crack, man. Nobody gets it. That's why.
It is. It's just like
nobody gets it.
Like JoJo and One Piece.
Yo,
I slept
this
on
guy
that,
gets it.
and now I get it. I'm like, wow.
You slept on JoJo's for about a year, and then you finally
years, because JoJo been around
longer.
For a long time, and I always.
Well, no one had really suggested
JL
it until me and Roland came around. What?
Actually, the Oracle, he told me about it, but I still didn't listen to him.
JL, when you give people animes to watch and they're like, yo, what should I watch? What number is JoJo? Like, when do you say, yo, you should watch JoJo? Like, what number is that?
JoJo's is probably the 6th anime I would.
Yo, the same. Them. Mine's is the 5th or 6th. The 5th or the 6th. Yep.
I've got like 3 or 4 stages of putting a newbie through animes, and it's like Demon Slayer. I've got my girl on Dr. Stone, where she just watched what was it, Senku's father go into space today. So
right, that was super dope.
It was really dope. But the thing is about JoJo's is just so leveled like that a person that hasn't watched anything before can't really fathom all of it.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, it's a ton. Jay, you've been over prepared for years. You just didn't.
Right.
I mean, that's why, Digidara and I started this, because we were too passionate about it. But yeah, JoJo, I think if Digi was around, he would definitely talk about it a lot. And also, happy birthday to him too. By the time this is released.
Happy birthday, Digidara.
Happy birthday.
His birthday would be already passed.
What's your advice?
Yeah, my advice would be similar to what Lusito said, is like, you talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something simple as a tweet, a post on Facebook, anything, you'll be able to get a response. I always believe if you ask, you'll receive. And if you definitely just put it out in the universe, it's going to come back to you, and someone will encourage you to continue to watch anime, because like by me doing this conversation with you guys, I definitely feel some type of more inspiration to at least finish watching Diamond is Unbreakable from where I left off. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to finish that series, because this right here helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? To go back and enjoy anime. So definitely, if you ask, you'll definitely receive. And there is someone, an auntie, a cousin, a friend, somebody,
and also
gonna tell
kind of adding to that, like it also depends who you ask. Like for example, I'm not as involved, and like I watch anime here and there and stuff, but it's not my expertise like you guys. But like if you ask different people, they might have different genre, but like I watch the new stuff, like whatever people recommend to me, and like that kind of like leads you to different stuff and kind of adding to your arsenal and kind of repertoire of anime. Because it's like I personally haven't seen. I've seen clips of JoJo. I probably have to get into it because you guys talking about it. I'm like, I've never seen it. I've seen clips here and
baby
there, but
step,
like
my friend, baby step.
but like what I've seen, like
don't take the meme so serious.
Well, the thing is, like
bad toxic community.
But the stuff that's like current, like I know, for example, like something easy to like watch, and it's like current popular people. Mostly, I would say 80 to 90% of people may or may not have seen it, but I've seen it out there. Like for example, My Hero Academia. That's a good intro one, and it's
top
notch. So it's like that's kind of like of this era.
Anime, you on the couch over there.
Hey.
But it's just like everything, there's always something. Like I think the one that caught my attention, I kind of was browsing around and stuff. Like I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I think Kakegurui.
Maybe I don't.
It's like
it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, that got me into it because it's like it's gambling and like high school and everything. It's like the whole story. It's crazy, but it's just like depending on what you're into, like genre and stuff, you either could get suggestions like we mentioned before from friends and family and anybody that you meet, or even like whatever social media or like or other open source like Netflix or whatever. They might give you suggestions of the tendencies that you've seen that might build your like repertoire of anime, and like you could ask people, or maybe you've seen something that nobody else watched, and you get them onto it. And you could build, fanfare from there.
Netflix, holla at us.
Yep, definitely get that sponsor. So, guys, thanks again to doing this somewhat like table talk intervention type of episode with our audience today. Really appreciate everyone, especially like JL. He's in a whole different state and finally got signal.
Good look.
Yo, I was amazed by that. And Lusito, thank you again for coming through. Where could they find you at?
Providence Lucha Talk, Facebook, Instagram, and also Luis Marcano and all social media.
There you go. As you guys know, the Shinobi Unfolding. Again, Google us, Bing us. You got to type in the word the Shinobi. We will be one of the top 10 option once you type in the word the Shinobi on Google search, which is fucking amazing. As well as, we are definitely in the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as the YouTube. The quote of the night is the following. Don't live your life making up excuses. The one making your choices is yourself. This said by Mugen from Samurai Champloo.
Oh, he actually said something smart for the first time in that entire series. Such an idiot.
Wow. Anyway, this is the Shinobi Unfolding. We say sayonara and good night. Peace.
Deuces.